Hello and welcome back to Rams Talk Podcast. And we are here today after a massive, massive away win at Bristol Rovers. The Rams travelled down to the southwest in need of 3 points, and they got them, and they got three really, really well-worked goals as well. So some have said it's the best performance of the season. We'll talk through it today and we'll see if it actually is. But joining me today to talk all about it, first off, we've got Vic Singh. How are you, Vic?
Good evening, lads. Yeah, I'm all good. Obviously buzzing after yesterday's performance and win. Set us up really nicely. Hope you guys are well as well.
Certainly am. I'm still recovering from yesterday. I'm shattered. We're just talking about how the drive felt like 5 times longer than it should have done. But no, it was absolutely worth it for the game that we saw. And also joining is Callum Boocock. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, pal. Not too bad. I couldn't make it, so I managed to catch the game. And I mean, what we've been screaming out for away performances like that, and we've been putting them in all season, and it's just another one to add to the list.
Well, absolutely. And Derby have we equalled the record for the most away wins in a season or something like that now, which is utterly ridiculous when you think about it. Think how many years we were so poor at home. Poor away. I remember that season under Rooney. I think we won 3 games away from home all season. So to have done as well as we have is testament to Warne and the way he's got us playing, especially away from home. So we moan a lot, but it's going quite well, isn't it? It's going quite well. I mean, Vic, we've got to talk about it first off, the performance overall, because I've got 2 points here. I've got performance and atmosphere, and I think they go hand in hand because the way Derby played yesterday was very different to the way we've seen us play this season. We controlled the game. I mean, and when I say control the game, we controlled that game. Bristol Rovers could barely touch the ball for the majority of the game. The system was spot on. We seemed to get everything right. The back three, the midfield, the forward line, absolutely spot on. It was just brilliant, wasn't it? And it's absolutely everything that we've been crying out for all season.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to see that we're actually controlling games. Our game management's better, especially towards the end of the season now. We're in that business end where every performance and every point counts. So it's nice to see us be so dominant. Really pleasing to see. I mean, it was quite surprising Barkhausen slotting into the middle, and he actually looks quite comfortable there, which is quite bizarre. But no, it's good to see a performance from the whole team. Every man to a T. I said it on Twitter. Every man to a T literally did their job yesterday, and that's why we were so convincing, so positive. And I think that's why the fan base and the atmosphere in the stands was really good, because we saw everything on the pitch. Everybody was fighting for every ball. We created enough chances to win that game, probably 7 or 8-0, if I'm being honest. So yeah, it was a really good performance, and it's really good to see us do it in the business end of the season, because we know that it's squeaky bum time now, isn't it? So yeah, it's nice to see us be so dominant, and hopefully we can carry that momentum going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was Jamie, wasn't it, who put on our matchday tweet yesterday that it is the game. It's the most important part of the season, isn't it? This is where seasons are won and lost. The last 10 games, the biggest teams and the best teams all step up, and Derby certainly did that. And I mean, Callum, we've talked about it already, the performance overall. I mean, Vic said they're fighting for every single ball. Some of the problems with Derby this season is sometimes we're a little bit lax. We let teams have the ball. We let them control the game. Yet yesterday, every single player was on the Bristol Rovers players' toes instantly. And it made such a big impact, didn't it?
Yeah, we're on the front foot constantly. I mean, when you looked at the possession stats were outrageous for an away game. It just reminded me of the Oxford game for the period of time when we just dominated the ball. And it was great to see, because it was front foot football, which is not something we've been accustomed to over the last probably couple of months during the little bit of a lull period. So it was nice that when you look at the table and the way Bristol are and stuff, that obviously they've gone through a managerial change. Obviously, listening to the preview you did, by the sounds of it, that they're still trying to find their way under the new manager, and they're short of confidence. It's exactly what we needed to do, was to stamp our authority on the game, a team, and that we are in the automatic promotion race. We need to be really doing these against the mid-table to lower table teams, and it was really, really good for the travelling away fans to see. Not only, like you said, just pressing, but also just talking to one another constantly. The communication looked spot on, but from front to back. Every single player knew exactly what the job was and what you needed from a team that's going for automatic promotion. Is everyone on one page, and that's exactly what we got.
I mean, we've said it a lot, haven't we? Square pegs, square holes, round pegs, round holes. you don't want to mix the two up. And Derby didn't do that yesterday. We had players in every position that were natural in every position, and you could tell. And you talk about that communication, Callum. The understanding between the team was spot on. There were so many times where we'd hit them on the break. I mean, we've mentioned Tom Barkhuizen already, and we'll talk a bit more about him later on. He was picking up the ball in the centre, and we probably did the same move 3 or 4 times where Cashin would pick up the ball, it'd go to someone in the centre, Gayle or someone would do a little back heel, and it'd fall to Hurahan, who'd then play through Tom Barkhuizen, and all of a sudden we were in. And we were creating chance after chance. And I can't remember how many times we did it. It was ridiculous. And we just tore them to pieces. I can't remember the last time Derby played like that. And I think that's why on social media, people are getting that excited because, yes, Bristol Rovers didn't have their best game, but we made them look a lot worse than they are because they're not a bad side. Even though they are, yes, quite mid-table, they are a decent side still. So the fact that we managed to take them apart the way we did was really impressive. And Vic, I mean, Callum mentioned it there. We played the back three. The back three speaks for itself. They're all very solid. Sonny Bradley's really stepped up. The wing backs, we talked about them a lot last week. They were massive for us because we could play those diagonal balls. Erin Cashin was having a field day, spraying it out to Joe Ward on the right. And it made such a huge difference that, again, we had players playing in their right positions and we could exploit Bristol Rovers for their weaknesses.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's round pegs, round holes. If you play to that, then you've got a winning formula already. Like I said, with the wing backs in particular, I think they took a lot of confidence from the game last week. Obviously, Sibley with his couple of goals and Joe Ward with an excellent performance. And it carried on in the Bristol Rovers game. Ward found himself in acres of space quite a few times, similar to Sibley. And it's nice to see the team play with a bit of confidence. I think that was the one thing that was probably lacking in the last few weeks was that just that little bit of an extra push of confidence to push ourselves five yards further up. Like I said, we tore Bristol Rovers apart yesterday. It was nice to see. The whole team is on one song, but also just to give a special mention to Dwight Gayle, I think his role in this team is very pivotal. We've actually got a number 9 that can just hold the ball up and just literally lay it off or do the extra flick here and there to get someone in and beyond. It makes a massive difference playing with the number 9 up top, so a special mention to him as well. But it all just clicked yesterday. It was probably the perfect performance, if I'm allowed to say that. It was yeah. No, I can't say anything more. It was the perfect performance. Everybody did their job. Like I said, with the back three, I think Sonny Bradley's been a breath of fresh air, to be honest. At the back, slotting into that back three, we look a lot more defensively sound, and there's a reason why we've probably got the second or first best defensive league record in the league. So long may all this good form, long may all this good stuff continue as we charge towards promotion.
I regret reading you two all my notes before we started recording, Vic, because you've just said about half of them in one. You've taken everything, all the prep.
Is that the end of the pod then?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you for listening. I mean, we might as well talk about him now, Callum, as Vic's brought him up. Dwight Gayle. I mean, earlier in the season, and we're not going to bring a player down to drag a player up, but James Collins scored loads of goals, but he did have his limitations, and everyone knows that. He works really hard, but Dwight Gayle's just got that bit extra. He's just got something about him. His movement is brilliant. His intelligence is brilliant. The way he presses, the way he fights for the ball. I don't know how a man that small jumps that high, and he does it every single time. And he just tore them to pieces. I mean, there was one time in the first half where he did a little flick, and he took 3 players out the game. And it took one of the Bristol Rovers players clotheslining him for him, to actually stop him. And he just looks a level above this division. And he looks really, really sharp, which is good as well when he's not played a massive amount of games. I mean, we said it last week, he might be our best striker. I think Callum, yesterday kind of solidified that, especially with the goal that he scored.
Yeah, I mean, it's the nous of a striker who's played at the higher levels, and you can see it. I say we're not bringing a player down to big a player up. I say Collins got us through the first half of the season as a number 9 and did his best, did what he's capable of, and put the ball in the net when he needed to. And obviously, when he got injured, we were all kind of wondering, who's going to take that mantle on, because Mendes-Lang, Barkhuizen, they can do a job up top, but they looked out of place down the centre. They're better on the wings, as we saw with Barkhuizen's goal. And obviously, when Gayle came in, it's exactly what we hoped he would be. And the nice thing is that we've had a player who we've come in, and probably a lot of criticism probably was going to come his way if he didn't do it. But it's one of them, a free transfer at 33, 34 now from Stoke, and he scored 5 goals in so many appearances he's out there. The expectations were probably to and fro with him, to be honest. His ability speaks obviously for itself when you look at him, and like you say, with certain touches that he does with his back to goal, obviously the physicality that he's got. As I say, the one flip round that you were mentioning, as I say, took out the two centre halves and played down at the wing perfectly, which is obviously when you're playing away from home, you need your number 9 to be that focal point. But when you look at him, bless him, you wouldn't think that he does that. And when you've got the number 9 on the opposition, who we saw what he did when he was with us at our time, and your shirts in the background there, Jake. But I thought Gayle really, really shown what a number 9 should be doing in this level, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, look at the goal. Tom Barkhuizen cannons one off the crossbar, and the ball's bouncing in the middle. Dwight Gayle is not the favourite for that ball. He is nowhere near the favourite for that ball, but he fights through 2 Bristol Rovers players and throws himself at it with a really brave header. For a second, I thought, oh my God, he's missed from about 2 yards. But he heads it. Obviously, it goes over the line, and then he sort of rolls it into the back of the net, physically rolls into the ball to get it over the line. And you need a striker that you can see how much it means to him. Look at the passion. He's played 4 games for us.
Yeah,
the passion when he scored, and it's just brilliant. And it's so good to see a player come in and make that impact. I mean, we've had a few, haven't we? Obviously, Ibu Adams, who, I mean, he needs to stop 2-footing people. But apart from that, his work rate and his passion's made such a difference to this team. And Nyambi was the same when he came in. Dwight Gayle's come in, and you could tell he'd die for the badge, wouldn't he? He's fighting for the badge. He's giving everything, and it's just all you can ask for, isn't it? All you can ask for from a Derby player. And you can tell we're getting excited, can't we? But Vic, I mean, we have to talk about the second goal as well. I mean, it was brilliantly finished off by Tom Barkhuizen. But if you look at the build-up before that, I mean, Erin Cashin, what a pass with his weaker foot over to Mendez-Laing, who takes it down the line, really unselfish, looks up, finds Tom Barkhuizen. And I've got a stat here. Mendez-Laing's got 15 assists in the league this season. And Derby's previous highest this century were Bryson with 12 in 2013-14 and Idiakes with 12 in 05-06. Now, unfortunately, assist records don't go back much further than that. So when I was trying to find what the actual last one was, I genuinely don't know. So it's probably about 1972 or something like that was the last time someone got 15 assists in the league. And you look at Mendez-Laing, and he was another one fighting for every ball. He was always there, giving everything. When he's got Gayle and he's got Barkhuizen with him, he looks a special player, even more special than normal. How impressive's he been?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been that sort of talisman, and he's a good player. We know he's got that in him. I think his understanding with Barkhuizen's really, really impressed me this season. I think if you look at the amount of goals Barkhuizen scored, a lot of them have probably come from Mendez-Laing crosses. So they've got a really good understanding there. Mendez-Laing is our talisman. We know he's such an important player in this system, and with us going forward, I think his stats speak for itself. Don't they? He's had a brilliant season with us. But like we said before, I think a lot of these players, Gayle included, probably just needed a home where they could feel comfortable, and that's why they're really shining. Gayle's got a home now. Mendez-Laing has got a home here, and they seem to be playing their best football probably in their entire career. I know it's early to say with Gayle, but especially with Mendez-Laing, he seems a lot more comfortable. He's just playing to his strengths, and this is his season. I don't think we can doubt that at all. But it was really good to see him pull out a good performance, because I'll be honest, I don't think he's been at the races the last few games. Truth be told, but yesterday he was back to his normal self. Barkhuizen gets his tap in. The second goal was exactly how Derby County want to play in terms of a counter-attacking football. That's probably exactly what Paul wants to see in a 3-5-2, especially going forward. So it was a really good goal. And yeah, it was just a positive performance from all the lads. Mendez-Laing, hopefully you keep shining. And let's keep going. Let's keep riding this train all the way through to automatic promotion. Let's keep going.
Well, you're very confident, and some of the comments we've got as well. Simon Pollard says, the first time he's confident of us going up. Roland Hobbs saying the team's clicked. Long may it continue, Vic. You've been robbed again. And just talking about that second goal as well, Dwight Gale's movement helps make that, because he peels to the front post, takes both defenders away, and just leaves all that space for Tom Barkhuizen to run into and put the ball in the top corner. I think my Waggle needs to watch that one back, because that's how you do it, Martin. I still can't believe he. Well, I can, but I can't.
Yeah, about to say I can.
He should have had a hat trick yesterday. Let's be.
Yeah, bless him. Bless him.
He should. I mean, we talk about the goals that we scored, and we'll get onto the third goal as well, which was a really good counter attack. But Derby's first goal wasn't offside. That should have counted. And there was a goalmouth scramble towards the end or middle of the second half where it looked like Cash had somehow missed from 0 yards. And turns out the ball had actually crossed the line. I've got friends that were in the home end, and they were in line with the goal, and they said it crossed the line. So, and they're Bristol Rovers fans as well, so it must have gone in. So in reality, we probably should have won the game 5-0, maybe 6-0, maybe 7-0. It was one of those games where everything clicked, and we looked really, really good. And I mean, we mentioned him already. Obviously, scored the goal. Tom Barkhuizen was excellent. I mean, when we were defending, he'd sit in the middle, wouldn't he? It looked a bit strange seeing him in the centre of the park. But the second we got the ball, he'd go out wide. Mendes Lang would go the other way, and they played with that freedom that was really, really effective. And Tom Barkhuizen, obviously, there's a lot of questions. Vic, you were saying before the game, sometimes you think maybe he's just not at the races and he doesn't completely turn up. But God, he was good yesterday, wasn't he?
Is that to me or Vic?
Yeah. Sorry, it's to you, mate.
Just threw it out there. Just threw it out there. Go on. We'll just say the full.
Both you answers.
No, Barkhuizen, I think, is one of them that where, as I say, he's played his trade in a division above. He again, his probably ability and his reputation should mean that he should be doing a lot better. And it's nice that when we really need our players to step up, he again is one of them. And he seems to be really taking the fruits of obviously Mendes Lang playing further out wide, because the two of them, they seem to really like that play across the box to one another. Say, when you're looking at your wingers or your obviously wing backs, if we're playing the 5 or stuff, you need each of them coming on to the end of each other's crosses. We've had Sibley do it at home from Joe Ward, who now having the wingers do it in Mendes Lang to Tom Barkhuizen. And as I say, he when the ball came across, I was just sitting there just going, just get it low. And when he put it up high, I was just like, oh, it's going straight over. And then, as I say, it just went into the roof of the net. So it was a really, really good finish, because the ball came across and was bobbling. And it's one of them where you've probably had a little bit too much time to decide what you want to do. And all you wanted at that point was just to get that second goal, because you're kind of thinking, as you said, as we saw last season with Bristol Rovers, they only needed just one fluky goal and that place would have been rocking, and then we're on the ropes. So just to get a second goal, put it to bed, it just takes the onus off it. They've then got to come out to us, and then obviously we go and do what we did to get the third goal.
Yeah, and I think apart from maybe that third goal against Oxford, that's the most I've celebrated a goal. And I think most any Derby had celebrated a goal, because we went 1-0 up and they sort of had a little spell of a couple of minutes, and then we hit them on the break and scored again. I mean, it was chaos, wasn't it, Vic, in that away end? And that's what we've been asking for all season. You want those moments. You want to be taken off your seat, and obviously no one was sat down, but you want to be up on your feet. You want to be jumping around. You want some bloke to jump on your back and throw you down 3 flights of stairs or something along those lines. It was brilliant, wasn't it? And I think it highlighted the atmosphere of the whole day. Is that, it was sort of building and building and building. We scored. And then when that second goal went in, everyone just went crazy, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got my leg caught in the chair, didn't I, when we celebrated? It was good. I know. And I've got a bad knee as well. But no, it's good. No, that second goal went in. I think it relieved a lot of the pressure from the players and the fans as well. And I think yesterday really gave a lot of us something to believe in terms of we've sort of been, will we get promoted? Will we not? Are we going for top 2? Are we going to settle for the playoffs? I think with the performance like yesterday, that's only going to spur the fans on. Our away support's been brilliant all season. It's been second to none. We've always backed the lads away from home, and you could tell yesterday it meant so much to everybody in that away end. But yeah, no, it was really good to see. Scenes like that again don't come often, so we need to really sort of enjoy what we've got left of this season, because we could be in for a really special ending. Hopefully we do get that automatic promotion. But yeah, like I've said before on numerous weeks, if we continue having the good atmosphere in the stands, it will just reflect on the pitch with the players, and we got the performance that we've all been dying out for all been crying out for the last few weeks. So it's nice to see it rolling. Let's hopefully we can keep continuing this. And like we said, we've got a massive week coming ahead now. So we need to do our part as fans in the stands. Let's get it going. 2 big home games. So let's keep the away form going. The away fans jumping up and down. Let's get the bounce going. Let's get Paul Warne bouncing. Let's do everything we need to do to get over the line. But yeah, it was pandemonium in the stands for that second goal. And yeah, we love to see it, don't we? We love to see it.
We do. It's those memories, isn't it? Like, I don't know about you. When I watch a game of football, there's only certain bits that stick in my head. You know, when it's like years down the line and you think about like Leeds away, I can just remember that ball crossing the line when I remember Mounts more than Marriott's actually, weirdly, because he fell over when he hit it. And I just remember it looping over Casilla and into the net. And it's those memories that stick with you. And I think, yeah, that second goal, just the ball going, well, I guess through the keeper's hands and into that top corner. And yeah, it was unbelievable and something that I'll definitely remember for a long, long time. And I mean, Cal, you know, we talk a lot about the attack. We talk because it was really, really good yesterday. But defensively, we've got to look at this Derby team because 16 clean sheets now this season. Nelson and Cashin came out and said they want 20. So that would take 4 in the last 9 games, which is certainly doable with the way that we can play. And we've scored 3 or more goals 15 times this season, which is a ridiculous stat, isn't it, when you think about it? But yeah, defensively, I mean, we've talked about the back 3 already. You know, the solidity. You've got Sonny Bradley who's coming to his own. Cashin, we know what he's about. Nelson, we know what he's about. But I was really impressed with the defensive work of the wing backs as well. Louis Sibley didn't look out of place at all. And Joe Ward, again, he's slotted in so well since he's come back into the team. We're certainly impressive. Can you see it continuing? And would you stick with that same back 5?
I think you'd have to. Because, as I say, when you've got a back 3 and obviously the 2 wing backs that are playing as well as they can, how are you going to justify to them taking them out? Because they're just going to be knocking on Warren's door on the Monday morning and go, what have I got to do to stay in this team if I carry on the way I am? As I say, Bradley is just, I don't know what he did while he was obviously warming that bench, but whatever he's been doing in the obviously in his own time, he's just come back and he's been the Bradley that we all hoped when that signing announcement came out, and we were like, we have got a proven promotion skipper coming to us. And obviously when we had the Nelson Cashin debate and all that, it's just nice that all 3 have seemed to create a great partnership. And when we're looking at the formations that Warren keeps dabbling with, you can't really now veer away from that back 3 because obviously the 4 was always the one that every fan was crying out for, saying just go back to the 4 that got us that a nice run of results with Fozzie Niambi, Cashin and Nelson. But at the moment, I wouldn't turn away from the one that we've got at the moment. I think Ward has been absolutely outstanding in the last 2 games. And Sibley, as I say, the revitalised wing-back that I'd never thought he would be 4 or 5 years ago when he spanged that Blackburn screamer in. So I don't know. Warren seems to be getting out of tune of him. It just reminds me of last season when we had that makeshift back 4 with Forsyth and Cashin, and now we've got our own one, and I hope it continues.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. And I think the confidence as well running through the team at the minute is really impressive. I mean, Sibley yesterday, every time he picked up that ball, he was running at the fullback and he tore him to pieces. They couldn't handle him at all. And, you know, you look at Sibley a lot over the last sort of couple of years and he's not really looked that confident. He's not had that self-belief. But there was a time yesterday where he went inside, he went outside, he went inside, went outside. I think it was Scott Sinclair. He just sent completely the wrong way, and Sinclair, you know, obviously think of the level that he's played at, and he couldn't handle Sibley at all. He couldn't get near him. So you know, when you look at that and you think of the sort of players that Sibley's running rings around, it's very, very impressive. But I mean, we've also got to talk about a very impressive substitution. Waghorn did come on and score, but he's not the man I want to talk about. It's Corey Smith. Now, Corey Smith, God knows what he was doing whilst he was off, whether he was watching Rocky every day, blasting Eye of the Tiger through his home gym speakers. But whatever he's done, it's turned him into, well, the best version of himself, because he has been unbelievable since he's come back. The difference that he's made is huge. And obviously it's great when you see subs celebrating with the players, him and Waghorn running and celebrating for the first and second goal. But he came on and made that 3rd goal. And he was everywhere when he came on. I mean, Vic, last few weeks, he seems really back to his best. This is the Corey Smith we thought we'd signed last year. And yeah, I mean, he's got to be vying for a place in the first team now, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, I mean, if we look at, obviously, I think Max Bird's now out for about 3 to 4 weeks, so that midfield spot's up for grabs now. Corey Smith, I think with him, we're playing him in his position, and I think that makes the massive difference here. I think now that he's in his normal central midfield role where he can just sort of be a bulldog in midfield, and knowing that he's got the safety net and Ibu Adams behind him, he can play his game a lot more. We've seen him for Swansea where he's actually been quite an attacking presence. I think he'll do the same in our shirts as well. He's been really impressive the last few weeks he's come on as a sub. He's earned to start. Whether he can replicate that from starting from the off is yet to be seen. But I'm really impressed with what he's done so far. He's that terrier in the midfield, and like I said, he's got Ibu Adams behind him, so it allows those two midfielders in the centre of the park to sort of just play freely and do what they got to do best. So hopefully Corey Smith can get into the side. He can make it his own. Like I said, I think Bird's out for about 3 to 4 weeks now, so this is a very important month coming ahead for us. So yeah, Corey Smith's form, hopefully that continues. But yeah, the shirt's his to be won now, isn't it? Really.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, we talked about the midfield. You mentioned Ibu Adams there. Since he's come in, as we've said already, he's made a massive impact, and he just frees up the other midfielders. And I think, obviously, it's disappointing that Bird's out for a few weeks, but the midfield looked spot on yesterday, I thought. I mean, Conor Hourihane, I've seen people criticise him on social media. I was really surprised by that because I thought he had quite a good game. He always has those moments, doesn't he, where the ball will ping off his shin occasionally.
That's it.
He always looks maybe not a little bit lax, but sometimes he looks a little bit, I don't know, confident, really confident. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it doesn't come across right, but I thought he had a really good game, and he just does the simple things so well. Sometimes I think maybe that goes under the radar. But I mean, Cal, I guess that's my question to you is: you've got Ibu Adams; he has to start until he gets his inevitable suspension.
I was about to say,
but who plays next to him?
I mean, Vic put it spot on there. Corey Smith has been that. Probably the last time he came and did that sort of performance was Blackpool, that Blackpool Wide performance. But whatever him and Bradley have been doing together, carry on doing it because it seems to be working. We'll leave them to it in their own time. But when you look at Conor Hourihane, the only thing that gripes me about him is say he did a really, really good, solid performance yesterday. He slows the game down to his pace because obviously with the age he is, he needs to make sure that he's dictating the tempo of the game in the midfield, which obviously suits him, but then sometimes doesn't probably suit our team and the way Warren wants to play because we want to maybe get a counter-attack going. Cash-in's running out from the back and he's playing into Conor Hourihane. He's then putting the foot on the ball, maybe going backwards, going sideways or whatever. So that's probably the only thing with him. But when you look at what options when Bird is now out for the 3 to 4 week periods, it's not bad having Corey Smith in form and having Conor Hourihane as your backup options with Ibu Adams. As I say, let's just hope he doesn't scissor kick someone next week because I mean, as long as he's there for the Bolton game, and I'm happy he can have it service suspension the game after, and then let's just get through that one, and then we'll and stuff like that. But no, Corey Smith, I would probably give him a chance on Tuesday. And then obviously just see how he performs from the start and then look at obviously ahead to Saturday against Bolton and what pairing you would do there.
Well, I think that's it. I think obviously every game's as important as every other game, but that Bolton game, I mean, if we can win that game, that puts us in pole position, doesn't it?
I think it does.
That's the way you got to see it. If we can win that Bolton game, all of a sudden we're favourites for second. And we're probably in the running for first as well. I mean, obviously we're still a little bit out, but again, if we can keep playing like that, if we can keep doing what we're doing, there's no reason why we can't.
No, teams are dropping points, aren't they? I mean, look at Barnsley yesterday. I don't know what happened there, but
yesterday was the perfect weekend for us. When I think everyone bar Peterborough had lost, so it was perfect for us. Just to touch on what Callum was saying about even with Smith coming in. Do we compensate that for having to drop Barkhausen then? Because don't forget, he's playing in the centre of the park as well. We've got a plethora of options here. But even so, like with going back to the Hourihane point, it's what he does off the ball that I think doesn't get noticed. I think yesterday he was really pulling players here, there, and everywhere. He was telling players where to be, and he was being that captain yesterday. I think it's something we haven't seen for a while from him. So we need him to keep doing that and see us over the line. But again, like Jake said, I don't think he's had the credit he deserves, especially it's more his off the ball than on the ball sort of things that I'm noticing with Connor. So yeah, I mean, we've got a midfield dilemma now if we decide to drop Barkhausen for Smith, don't we?
I don't think you will. I
think he will
really
either.
don't think you will. I mean, what I liked about Hurahan as well is that he just seems to get in other teams' heads quite easily. Then number 6.
Very easily.
I can't remember what his name was. Hang on, I've probably
Number
got it here.
6.
Oh,
Yeah.
Number 6
Finley.
for them, wasn't it?
Sam Finley. Yeah, Sam Finley. He absolutely rattled Sam Finley. After that, I don't know whether it was the first or the second goal, where the ref couldn't give the kickoff. He couldn't blow for the kickoff because Finley was so wound up by Hurahan that he was coming over into our half and trying to fight Hurahan in our half. Yeah, I think it's just one of them where I think, maybe, people have their views and everyone. We had the same with Tom Ince a little bit, didn't we? Where people didn't really get on with maybe who he was or how he came across as a person sometimes. But again, sometimes when you're on the pitch, you need those sort of players, don't you? To just wind the opposition up. And his free kicks and corners aren't bad either. So we'll live with those. We'll live with those. But yeah, I mean, Waghorn, we do have to talk about it, don't we? He came on. I don't know how we put it so far.
I don't know.
From about 5 yards. But again, it came from great football from Derby Mendes, like robbed of an assist. The poor bloke. But Waghorn, he's come back in. We know he's not the most clinical finisher, don't we? But again, another player coming back, another player getting on the score sheet, Cal. It must do his confidence. I mean, someone's just put it bobbled.
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did. But yeah, I mean, it must do his confidence the world of good to put one away, especially after missing such a good chance earlier, or 2 good chances earlier on.
Yeah, the one thing I liked though, that as soon as he did it, his reaction was he was lying on the floor for about 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then got straight back up, and he's kind of looking straight away of where they're going to play it out from the back, and his mind's straight back on. He's like, so it's obviously with the years you kind of go, look, it's gone. As funny as it is, he's probably sat there in his head going, I'm not going to watch that back. But he's like, his mind's back on the game. His mind's where's the next press going to come? And as you say, when you've got Gayle on his own at the moment, kind of holding the fort at 34, you need someone in behind him.
Youngsters.
Yeah. So let's just get another 30-plus-year-olds on the books. But as I say, Washington's out at the moment. Collins is out at the moment. We need another one. And as you say, he's been out for a while, really struggled this season with injuries. And when he loves the club as much as he does, all he wants is just to have a success story with the club. Over his time, he's had, a relegation. He's then got let go. He's then come back. And when you look at him as a Derby player, it's the same with Cashin and Sibley and stuff. The fans of the club now, they're kind of adopted the club over their time here and stuff. So, and when you see the passion that they've got, and when he scored finally, he's kind of looked back and gone kind of done. I was surprised he didn't do the celebration of doing that in front of you guys. But no, it was great, and as I say, the passion he exudes is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to say, I've seen a comment from Jim Johnson who's talking about Dosanjh Brown scored a hat-trick for Gateshead yesterday, which is great news as well.
He's on fire.
Yeah, he is on fire. 4 goals in his last 2 games, which is really good news for us for coming up for next season. But yeah, it's good to see players love the club, isn't it? Like Waghorn. Again, we were talking about him and Smith celebrating the first and second goal. You can see what it means. They are fans as well. At the end of the day, when when players stay at a club for a couple of years, they end up really wanting the club to do well. And when we stayed up on the last hour, I remember like Fakeo Tamori commented and said how happy he was that Derby stayed up. When players get a connection with a club, it makes a massive difference for both on the pitch and off the pitch. So yeah, it's really, really good to see. And yeah, we got another comment talking about Smith unlucky to score. He cannoned it right into that bloke's face. That poor man who blocked that. I'm surprised he didn't completely knock him out because he blasted at him from about 2 yards as well, which was good to see. Really good to see. So, right, we've got to that point where we need to talk about the next week.
Jake, just before you do, I just want to touch on
on
the scenes at the end of the game with the team and you guys there. was absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's the first time I've seen. I don't know. You guys go to a lot more away games than me, so you can tell me if I'm wrong. But
what,
that
more
is
than one.
yeah. But Warren doing what he did at the end, just getting the crowd going and everything like that. I was like, normally he's just like, he gives him a quick clap and then he's off. But I mean, the whole lot of you were doing the bounce at the end and stuff, and it was similar to Oxford, but that was absolutely brilliant. And I think that shows the togetherness at the moment with the fans and the players and the coaching staff.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, that's a really good point that you bring that up. I think it was Dwight Gayle as well who got pushed to the front to start the bounce, which was great. And yeah, it seems like that. I mean, we saw it at Oxford. We've seen it, I think since Port Vale away, we've done it pretty much every time we've won. But there was something different about yesterday. I think there's that belief now. I think that was the game where we're starting to believe. And it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? But we've got that belief. We've got a chance, haven't we, Vic? We've got a real chance of going up this season. And I mean, we've talked about it all season. I mean, obviously there's the 06, 07, but I was not old. I was 8, 9 when that happened. So, I didn't get the chance to appreciate it. And for a whole, maybe few generations of Derby fans, we've never seen a team push at the top of the league in the way that this team's pushing at the minute. I mean, it's so special, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, like you said earlier, it's all the memories we're creating. I mean, the lads we're on 72 points now. We know there's 9 games to go. It's like 9 cup finals, isn't it? So we can really have a special end to the season. I mean, I think I was speaking to a few fans yesterday before the game, a lot older than us, and they were saying, yeah, we've seen the good days. And when he spoke to me, and I was like, I've only seen like 1 promotion, I think, in the time I've supported Derby.
Yeah.
When you look back at it, you think to yourself, wow, like the fan base we've got is immense. And then you look at, considering we don't have much success, the fan base is incredible. But like you said, it's a special season for us. Like, hopefully we can really go over the line this time. We've got the right management, we've got the right mentality, we've got the right players. Everything seems, the stars are aligning for us at the minute. So why can't we do it? I genuinely believe this is our time. I know at the start of the season I predicted we finished champions. I'm still holding on to that, by the way, because Pompey's a massive game too. But like you said, this week's huge. If we get at least minimum 4, hopefully 6, but minimum 4 points, we're in the driving seat, aren't we? Especially considering we've got to play Bolton, we've got to play Pompey, and then the rest of the running, I'd say, is relatively in our favour compared to others. I think Barnsley might have a slightly easier running than us, but it's in our hands. Why not? Why can't we do it? Why can't we dream? Yesterday gave us the belief. I think everyone's starting to believe there's 9 games to go. We're going to do it now. Like you said, the performance is brilliant. And credit to Paul Warne as well. I think yesterday he really enjoyed that. And it was nice to see him celebrate with the fans, because we haven't seen that the last couple of months or so. So we know it meant a lot to him. It meant a lot to the players. I mean, was it Bradley Johnson that started the bounce towards him? Was it Dwight Gayle?
It might have been, I don't know.
It was about 3 or 4 of them all got pushed towards the front.
We looked at it, it was like, we're not sure who started the bounce. Yeah, it might have been Bradley Johnson, I'm not sure. But like you said, it goes back to players being fans as well. Like Johnson's time here was brilliant as well. And we know he comes to a few away games, it could have been him. But yeah, it's nice to see the togetherness. We're all pulling in the right direction. Now we've just got one destination, and that's promotion.
Wow, that is some statement, that, Vic. And I tell you what, I'm going to go on record and say this. I think you might be right, and I think we've had our blips now. I think we've gone past that point. We've had our our bad runs. We've lost our silly games. The way things were yesterday. Imagine being at that training ground tomorrow morning. Ahead of the game on Tuesday. You're at that training ground and everyone's buzzing. You've just you've travelled down, you've battered a team, played them off the park, celebrating with the fans at the end, all the posts on social media, all the laughs, all the hype. The atmosphere must be incredible. Imagine going to work and turning up and everyone's in the best mood possible. Like, that must be great.
Yeah, because I don't have it.
Yeah, I wish I knew what that was like. But that sort of atmosphere and that sort of mentality will go a long way. And that's how that's how teams are successful. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool are a great example at the minute. Won the cup final. They had a team of youth players, but they won through sheer self-belief and passion and desire. So yeah, that's exactly what you need. But right, let's talk a little bit about the 2 games coming up. Reading. And Bolton. Oh God. Vic, go on. How do you see him going?
I think we'll beat Reading tomorrow, if I'm honest. I think we're going to beat them 2-1. I think we're going to take 2 early goals. We're going to dominate the game like we did yesterday, and they'll probably get one towards the end. But we'll see it through. If we're going for goal scorers, I'll go for Dwight Gayle again. Might his backside this time. and then we'll go for a Mendes Lang winner. Do you want me to do the Bolton one as well, or
Go on, do it.
go on? Let's do it. We're going for a 3-1 Bolton. We're going 3-1 Derby win against Bolton.
Oh
Sorry.
my God!
We're going 3-1 against Bolton. 3-1 against Bolton. Just to get that clear, 3-1 against Bolton. I'm not necessarily wrong in all my predictions, so let's go. For goal scorers,
3 goal scorers, yeah.
yeah. We're lucky if they get one. For us, I think we'll get a Sibley goal again, and we'll go for a Barkhausen double. And we're gonna get the 6 points, and we're gonna put ourselves in the driving seat.
Let's do it. I mean, I said before these 3 games, I want 6 points from 9. With 3 points of the way there, now I want 9 points from 9. So go on, Cal. What do you reckon, mate? What do you reckon?
I think we'll. Okay, what I want. So I'll go 3 points Tuesday. Yeah, what I want. 3 points Tuesday. I'll go a 2-0 win. We'll get the revenge over Charlton. And I will go Waghorn again to score. And I'll go Nathaniel Mendes Lang. And then I'm going to go 1-1. I think it's going to be 1-1. And I'll take it, to be honest. As long as we don't lose, I'll take it. That's the biggest thing. Just get either a draw or a win. That'll do me. So I'll go 1-1, and I will go Dwight Gayle to score.
Sounds good. And just looking at the comments, we've got Jim Johnson going to beat Reading 3-0, Mendes Lang, Gayle and Adams to score, and then beat Bolton 3-0. We're just going to keep winning 3-0 until the season ends. Every game for the rest of the season. You've got Gayle times 2 and Waghorn off the bench. Ben Chambers says Derby 3, Reading 1, Derby 2, Bolton 2. And then Danny McSheffrey goes, imagine if Bolton win 3-1 on Saturday. We'll have to chase Pickwood.
You can find me in the South Stand.
That's exactly it. You'll have to make sure you hunt him down. And yeah, I should probably give mine as well. I think we'll win 2-0 on Tuesday. I think we need to get the revenge. I mean, you said we're getting revenge on Charlton, but I think we'll get revenge on Reading, hopefully.
That's what I meant, yeah. Yeah, I said it, and I was just like, we're not even playing Charlton. I don't know what I'm talking
about. I think we'll win 2-0. I think, again, Dwight Gayle will find the back of the net. And, yeah, you always like to pick an unlikely one. I think Sonny Bradley towering header at the far post from, yet again, one of the worst set pieces you'll ever see, which is what Derby are very good at the moment. And then, I think Bolton, I tell you what, I'm going to go, it's a cop-out, but I think we're going to win 2-1. I think it's going to be very similar to last season. I think Hurahan will score from, I don't know, a knockdown, and he'll volley at top bins, which he almost did yesterday, if not for a really good block. And then I think Tom Barkhuizen, again, I think he's really in good form now. I think he'll have, lots of space on the break, because Bolton, they like to commit men high up. I think it'll open the game up for him, and 2 more assists from Mendes Lang as well. Thank you so much for listening. We've currently got 321 people watching live, which is
one
mental.
of the biggest.
So so that's certainly up there as our highest ever. So thank you so much for listening. If you did enjoy, you can find all our content on YouTube. You can find it all on Spotify, Apple Pods, and on Twitter as well. We do loads of conversation starters. So if you are new here, please do subscribe. We do loads of stuff like to get you guys involved. Up the Rams. What else can I say at this point of the day? I mean, Vic, have you got any wise words for us ahead of the games coming up?
Yeah, let's all pull in the let's pull in the same. Let's all pull in the same direction. Let's keep this momentum going. Like I said, we're all pulling in the same direction. The end destination is promotion. Let's go and get it now. We can dream. Let's make this dream a reality. Let's go.
I absolutely love that. Right. Long may this continue. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye from me.
The Rams are going up. Goodbye from me.
All the way, all the way, all the way. Goodbye from me.
What does that mean? Right. Thank you for listening, everyone. Goodbye.